Howdy everyone, it is I, the Fable of Fables, your new best friend. Today we're learning about more primes actually. We learned about Prima Prime. I know I didn't pronounce your name right. The Primes. And then we even learned about Optimus Prime, Father Dad. Now we're learning about Sentinel Prime. Depending on the continuity, he's either a good guy or a giant dick.
We're diving into Cybertronian history this week.
There
as
is
we
no in
take a
between
look at
apparently.
the Transformer who was the leader of the Autobots before Optimus Prime. These are the basics on Sentinel Prime. The first story to feature any version of the Autobot leader before Optimus Prime was the 1986 Transformers cartoon episode 5 Faces of Darkness Part 4. In this story, a series of flashbacks to the ancient past of Cybertron featured an unnamed blue and orange robot who had once been a gladiator in the days when the alien Quintessons ruled the planet, who rose up to lead the Autobots to victory in their first war against the Decepticons. Identified only as U-Haul Robot in the episode's script, this Autobot was killed by Megatron at the start of the next war, and left the matrix of leadership in the hands of Alpha Trion to be passed on to the next worthy leader. The Marvel Comics continuity would introduce its own version of Optimus Prime's predecessor 2 years later in 1988, when a yellow and orange robot was seen passing the Matrix to Optimus in a one-panel flashback in issue number 150 of the British comic. A further 2 years later, in 1990, issue number 65 of the American comic gave this robot a name for the first time: Sentinel Prime. Now, for many years, the character of Sentinel Prime existed only within the world of the Marvel comic, and fans had no particular reason to think that the blue robot from the cartoon and the yellow robot from the comic were the same character. But in the 21st century, Sentinel slowly began appearing in more and more Transformers series, steadily rising in prominence and looking very different each time, leading to the retroactive declaration in 2010 that the U-Haul robot was indeed a version of Sentinel Prime as well. But that's jumping ahead a little. You see, at first, these new series treated Sentinel as little more than a historical footnote, a departed figure from Cybertron's past. Dreamwave Productions' 2002 comic book, The War Within, described how he had been killed by Megatron before the series began, while the 2003 novel, Transformers Hardwired, saw the mysterious aliens The Keepers create a replica of Sentinel to torment Optimus Prime with the fear that he couldn't live up to his predecessor's legacy.
Damn, that's rude.
The 2007 comic book, Megatron Origin from IDW Publishing, that gave Sentinel Prime his first active role in a Transformers story. In this tale of the beginnings of the war, Sentinel, appearing with a design loosely based on his look in the Marvel comic, was the head of Cybertron's Autobot security forces, who had little time for the bureaucracy of the Senate that he served. When the Decepticons began their revolt against this corrupt system, Sentinel led the fight against them, but was killed in his first battle with Megatron. With its depiction of Sentinel as the militant enforcer of an oppressive government, Megatron Origin was the first story to present him as something of a morally dubious figure, a personality trait that over the next decade would gradually grow to become the defining characteristic of Sentinel Prime across Transformers media. Sentinel made his first named appearance on television and
Transformers Animated.
2007's Transformers Animated, a brand new design with a monster truck snowplow alternate mode. In this series, the Prime rank was held by multiple Autobots simultaneously, so rather than Optimus Prime's predecessor, the smug, arrogant, condescending animated incarnation of Sentinel was his contemporary and rival. Initially, Sentinel's role in the series was intended to be filled by Rodimus Prime, but Hasbro didn't like the idea of a classic legacy character like Rodimus being, well, a massive jerk, so another Prime was selected.
Honestly understandable.
From Transformers lore. Sentinel was designed to look like cartoon superhero The Tick.
Are you serious? You're supposed to look like the Tick? Oh, that's amazing. I love that.
Both characters were voiced by the same actor, Townsend Coleman. Sentinel and Optimus were once
oh god, now I want to hear Sentinel Prime yell out "Spoon" when he goes to fight. That's amazing.
Friends who trained together at the Autobot Academy until an unsanctioned mission to an alien planet organized by Sentinel resulted in the apparent death of their fellow cadet, Elita-1. Sentinel blamed Optimus and let him take the fall for the debacle. Optimus was expelled from the Academy, while Sentinel graduated to become a member of the Cybertron Elite Guard, serving
Sentinel, you suck.
ruler Ultra Magnus. Sentinel and Optimus's paths would cross again years later when the Elite Guard came to Earth, where the two primes found themselves constantly butting heads as their teams tried to work together to battle the Decepticons. Sentinel's contemptuous attitude and hatred of organics made him the butt of many jokes as he repeatedly underestimated the dangers of Earth. But eventually, after discovering that Elita was still alive and had joined the Decepticons, he and Optimus managed to achieve a kind of peace with one another. After Ultra Magnus was wounded in a Decepticon attack, Sentinel returned to Cybertron to take his place as the planet's new leader, quickly instituting an authoritarian regime. But unfortunately, the fourth season of the show that would have seen Sentinel's eventual downfall and Optimus's rise to take his place was never produced.
Aww.
Another version of Sentinel Prime appeared in the Aligned continuity that debuted in 2010, though this one didn't have a smooth introduction. See, different pieces of media referred to Optimus Prime's predecessor in this continuity with different names. The War for Cybertron video game identified him as Zeta Prime, the name of another Prime from IDW's comics. But the game's novel and comic book adaptations went with Sentinel Prime. Hasbro would eventually reconcile the mix-up by declaring that his full name was Sentinel Zeta Prime.
That's kind of stupid.
Elements of all previous versions of the character. He was a former member of the Elite Guard who rose to power during the Quintesson occupation of Cybertron and led the rebellion that drove them off the planet, only for the Decepticons to in turn rebel against his oppressive government. He served as a boss in War for Cybertron, which showed how he was defeated and destroyed by the Decepticons while attempting to protect the Omega Key that led to the core of Cybertron.
Oh boy.
Sentinel's next appearance would be his biggest yet, when he joined the world of the live-action movies in 2011's Dark of the Moon.
That design is actually pretty cool.
Actor Leonard Nimoy with a new alternate
mode.
Ooh,
Leonard Nimoy? Really?
The movie incarnation of Sentinel had personally mentored Optimus Prime. He was believed to have died when his spacecraft, the Ark, disappeared during the war on Cybertron, but in the present day, the Autobots discovered that the ship had crashed on Earth's moon. They recovered Sentinel from the wreck and reactivated him, only to be horrified when he turned against them. It turned out that long ago, he had struck a deal with Megatron to use space bridge technology to conquer Earth and harvest its resources to repair the devastated Cybertron. Evil plan into action, but Megatron came to think that he was in danger of being usurped as leader by the imperious Sentinel, and so decided to betray the betrayer and helped Optimus Prime destroy him.
Damn.
Sentinel's appearance on the silver screen was naturally accompanied by the release of numerous toys, but there was
I like the design, but at the same time I hate his story.
Of Sentinel Prime until 2016's Titans Return. Based on Sentinel's appearance in IDW's comic books, this figure transformed into a train and a spacecraft, and its head was formed by the Titan Master Infinitus, who granted Sentinel the power to slow down time. To tie in with the release of this toy, IDW brought Sentinel back to life in their comics, revealing that he had survived his apparent demise in Megatron Origin thanks to his Titan Master abilities. With the character's role in Transformers canon having been redefined in the 10 years since he had last
appeared in
the
Trial?
particularly by Dark of the Moon, Sentinel was turned into an unambiguous villain, an ideologue disgusted by the
Alpha Trion
of modern Cybertron. He attempted to use an army of Titans to wipe the planet clean so he could return it to the simpler days of his time, but was stopped by the Autobots. From a minor historical figure to a blockbuster movie villain, Sentinel Prime has come a long way and changed a lot. His next appearance is slated to be in IDW's new, rebooted comic book universe. We don't yet know if he's going to carry on being a villain, but we can be pretty sure about the fate that awaits him. Because if history has taught us anything, it's that Sentinel must fall if Optimus is to become Prime. And
like I said, his story is either he's a good guy or he's a dick, which is kind of sad, because he looks like he has a lot of potential to be a great character, but apparently in a lot of media they decided to turn him evil. Anyway, guys, thank you all for coming. I hope you all enjoyed. If you would like this kind of content, please do like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know who your favorite character is. Actually, since I'm watching about the primes, let me know which was your favorite prime. Also, if you're feeling generous, I do have a Ko-fi. I'll leave a Ko-fi link in the description if you guys want to support me there. I'd be greatly appreciated. Make sure to check out Chris McFreely. Without him, we wouldn't be able to watch any of his stuff. I'll also be linking this original video in the description. Alright, love you all. I'll see you all later. Bye.